July the 22nd, 2014 Board of Supervisors meeting to order. I know we do have a quorum. We have Jonathan Hammond here from Grace Lutheran Church. We'll ask him to do the invocation, and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I have with me Mr. Reeves, our intern, Becky Whitlock. We've had she's our 7th intern now, who's come down to serve, and it's been a great way to introduce Wythe County to Lutherans around especially Pennsylvania, Maryland. But she's from Tennessee, so we'll allow her to be in here too. But thank you for the privilege of being here. I want to start out by reciting the first verse of a hymn that we recently learned, and let us pray. Will you let me be your servant? Let me be as Christ to you. Pray that I may have the grace to let you be my servant too. Gracious and loving God, we give you thanks for this beautiful day and for this beautiful place that we are privileged to call home. We give you thanks for these folks gathered here, especially for those called to be your servants here in this place. We pray that you would strengthen them to be servants to the people of Wythe County, and that you would allow us to serve them as well. Strengthen them this day in their meeting. Give them wisdom and understanding to see those folks who need the help, who need the courage, who need the peace to remain here and to be your people. But mostly we give you thanks for your love and your promise to guard us and keep us all the days of our lives. Keep us in these good things now and forevermore. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, welcome everyone. We'll get right into our agenda with citizens' time. We'll wait 1 minute. We have one citizen that signed up, Ms. Myers. Ms. Myers, you have one subject to talk about?
I was wondering if you guys were going to the public listening session on climate control that's at Wythe County Community College this evening.
I'm going to try to make it.
You should know about it. We should be there to support coal in Southwest Virginia, and I'm hoping you go. This was an email that came through, and it's from, let's call them some green Nazis. And it's really, really unfortunate that we have to do this, but we've got to be steadfast in our promotion and coal in our region. So I urge you to attend this meeting tonight. It's at Wythe County Community College from 5 to 8, and it's really, really important that we come out and support coal. Wind and solar is nice, but we need coal in our area. Please.
Thank you, Ms. Myers. Next, we have Roxanne Watson from Wings, our rescue, do a presentation. Good morning.
Good morning. And I'm going to tell y'all that I am nervous. I was like, oh, Lord.
Don't be nervous in front of us.
Well, I know you say that, but anyway, I know that you've heard about Wings Air Rescue. I'm very fortunate. I know that Jason Mundy had actually presented to you all. I'm coming to you. I now work for Wings Air Rescue, but I'm coming to you too as a citizen of Wythe County and a person who is very passionate about healthcare and education in our communities. And when I saw this, it was crazy to me because I couldn't believe that this service was here and I didn't know about it. It's a pretty amazing thing that has been offered to our community. And first of all, I think most of you guys know me, but my name is Roxanne Watson, and I actually had a business here in the community for a while as a massage therapist. And then I left there and I actually worked for a pharmaceutical company for about 10 years. And now I work for Wings. And again, I'm coming to you because what this company does, what sold me on it is it actually started out of a need in the Midwest, and it was people like us. It was a community of people and 7 farmers in the Midwest. They had a buddy who needed some health care, and they were 2 hours from the nearest facility. And so that's what bred this idea of this company. And you guys know that we have a serious state of health care, and I'm just going to tell y'all that this is my little piece of the puzzle that I feel like can truly make a difference for all of our citizens in the community. And I'm going to go through, Coy just asked me a question about the first page. I stuck a brochure on there. That's what people can sign up with. But the very first page, he asked me, as a result of assuming care from Wythe County Rescue Squad, Guardian Ambulance, Trinity, or Blue Ridge, we can change that also to include Rural Retreat, as well as lead mines. I apologize because I will tell you guys, Martha called me on Friday, and I'm trying to just really come up to speed on all this. So that's just semantics. We can change that in there, Coy, for sure, because again, I'm from that end of the county and I know how important it is. But this is just the first 3 pages are just the agreement. If you all decide, if we decide to move forward with this. But the piece of the puzzle that I wanted to show you most of all is the valuation of the proposed agreement. If you look in your packet there, it shows you an actual, as human beings, we're very visual people. And I know that you guys deal with numbers all day long. But when I saw this is when I saw the impact of how it truly affects even our economic development in Wythe County. These numbers right here, this is before insurance is billed. Okay, so understand that this would be before insurance is billed. But just take that blue line and cut it in half. If you just take half of that amount, we could keep that money for this proposal that we're asking from Wings Air Rescue. We could keep that blue line proposal in our economic development here in our local areas. And at the end of the day, this is what I've learned now that I'm over 40, is that money's what talks. That's what it always comes down to in any situation is how can we, how is this going to benefit everybody and also be economically feasible? And I think this chart truly shows, in our healthcare realm right now, this is a way that we can help all of our citizens as well as help our economic development side. And the only way that I know to put this to y'all is, and what you'll learn about me is I put it all out there. It's just like it's either Republican or Democrat. That's the way things always tend to be broken down. So here's your Republican side of it. This is how fiscally this money can help our community. And then the other side of it is then all of our citizens are covered, and there's not an issue if one of the helicopters comes in and flies somebody out. And what I'd like to do now is actually have one of our flight nurses who works, she works for EMS here in the county as well as a flight nurse, and I just kind of want her to talk to you guys about why this is so important now in healthcare, because of the standards of care that are mandated. This is not something that we just say, oh, we're going to do this. These are mandates. So if you don't mind coming up, Ms. Kim, and Kim Lovingood.
And I am reorganizing lead mines. I'm very passionate about healthcare too. That's usually free. But the worst part of this job is the cost. You come in and you're like, y'all charged me whatever amount of money. I don't have any control over that. But it is, EMS goes to your house, you're having a heart attack. Standard of care now is for them to call a helicopter, because the definitive care for you to get is to a cath lab. I mean, Wythe County can't do nothing for you most of the time. And if you're having a stroke and EMS goes to your house and you're definitely having a stroke, standard of care is for us to be called, take you to a stroke center. That's the only people that can help you. And it would make my job a lot easier, because I stress about having to pick people up and them not having insurance, because I know what it costs. So getting this out there is a big deal. If people knew about it, it's a minute amount of money. But yeah, having y'all help our community, I live in Fort Chiswell, would be awesome, because it is standard of care now to go to a cath lab and stroke center if you're needing it, so. Any questions about the healthcare part?
The reason I wanted to do that too is because, again, there is a large cost with it, but I do want everybody here to understand, and this is, again, we all know there's different sides to everything, but it's very expensive to operate those helicopters. They are basically flying emergency rooms. And so I'm going to tell you guys a personal story, and there are some of you in the room who know this, but that may be why I am passionate about this, but it's the truth when these people, and there are, my friends and family have already been affected by this, and people that, there are probably every single one of you guys up here know somebody who's been flown. And, you know, I tell people even if the state police helicopter comes, that's awesome. This is not an either-or thing, but it's like I explained to people, that's sort of the luck of the draw. If 3 people, you know, if there's an accident here and 3 people are on the interstate, 3 helicopters have to come in. 1 of them state police, 2 of them's ours. So it's sort of the luck of the draw, like, oh, I got the state police helicopter, and the other 2 people didn't. So that's just one of the pieces of the puzzle that it is very expensive to operate those helicopters. And the agreement that we're proposing, it is not, I mean, when I see these numbers, I almost choked because I was like, that's it? You know, for what we could do for our citizens. And y'all, this is where I'm going to say that something's got to change, and I'm willing to be the voice of change. Sometimes you just got to step out and try something different and do something different that maybe nobody else has ever done. But if you look on the next page of your packet, other counties are doing this, and our business development manager, I can put you guys in touch with him. All of those numbers are based on these formulas that I'm telling you I can't comprehend or do the way that they figure everything up. But the next page are the municipal site plans that are currently in place. The ones that are highlighted are ones that have already come up for renewal and have renewed. So that just lets you know they're, you know, and if you notice too, they are in the very rural areas. The next thing that I'm going to shut up here in a minute, I promise. The next thing is just for you all to take, it's the overview and the membership benefits. It's just the frequently asked questions. All I wanted to come here today, you guys, and do is like I said, as a citizen of this community, is just really open the door to serious consideration. And I want to know what needs to happen, what your reservations are, you know, what we need to do to be able to move this forward. You guys are free to ask me any question, anything that you need, and I hope I can answer it.
Ms. White, do you have a number of people that's already signed up in Wythe County?
We do have. Yes, we do.
How many?
I do not, I can't, I'm
That's-
sorry, I can't tell you that number, but
Okay.
there are quite a few people. And my intention, I mean, if I'm being honest, I want everybody signed up. This is just, this is a way to be able to blanket so much more, because if you notice, the way it works too is if the county works, you know, and we can find some way to do this, then there's what's called an upgrade. And the other thing I want y'all to see, because I am full transparency of everything, is that first page that had that the uninsured are billed. Where did I put my stuff? That the uninsured are billed the Medicare allowable rate. That's the piece that I was like, well, wait, these are the people that we're trying to help the most, are the people who don't have insurance. But here's the kicker to that. All they have to do, and I can do the work around that, is just even with the papers and advertisement, it's $35. That's the best Obamacare that I've ever heard of, is for $35 they can not get any type of bill. So it does make the person responsible, but it's $35. That's it. Does that make sense? Because I don't know any health care coverage out there that you can.
Well, we also have a fixed wing that takes you, if you're in California and you want to come home and get sick, fixed wing brings you and all that together too. It's not just the health option.
Well, I am a member, so.
I am too. Yeah. Mr. Hill, you are too?
Well, and you know, you got, that's the thing too, is there are those of us, like I said, you know, after the age of 40, I think something kicks in too, where you realize you're not invincible. But the story, and I got sidetracked, I didn't tell you, but Kim actually went to school with, I kind of find it funny that I'm standing here nervous as a cat on a hot tin roof but Kim went to school with my brother. My brother was killed in a car accident in 1987. And I often, this is one of those thoughts when this came around is if we had had this service, would my brother still be able to be here? And that's why when I tell you all that this is personal for me, there are a lot of families out there and everybody talks about these big bills. But I can tell you one person in this county right now, and I can't use names or say stuff, but I can tell you right now that if he could have his wife back, he doesn't care if he had a $50,000 bill from our company. And that's when it gets real, is because when the rubber hits the road is the people that are involved. I'm not just coming to you guys saying, hey, I want this money, and you know, that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because this truly serves our citizens, and it's something that would take, you know, an economic burden and hardship that can be prevented. Because I say, if this company was trying to just, you know, guys, they make way more money off of billing people, you know, those patient responsibilities on the back end after insurance has covered, than sending me out to try to get $65 memberships and a huge network of people to support it. That's what their goal is to truly get it to where, you know, this is not an issue or a problem for citizens and people in these rural communities, because we love to live here and it's an awesome place to live. But we also know that we're over an hour from any trauma center, and you have 1 hour, it's called the golden hour. You have 1 hour when you have one of those major traumatic events to be able to get to a hospital. So I'm done. Do you guys have any questions?
Does anyone have, Mr. Donald?
I understand currently if you enroll your family, it's $65. And just to get to the math portion of it, there's 14,030 homes in Wythe County, family. If you multiply that by 65, then the bill should be like 90-some thousand instead of if every individual family enrolled separately. It's cheaper than the county doing this as a whole.
Okay, well, they use a formula around, like I told you, like pulling out Medicaid and uninsured, because I guess that's the whole piece of, like I will say, maybe I'm just going to throw it out here, probably the Democratic piece that maybe we're helping, you know.
Yeah, if I multiply that, if you take the 14,000 and some, it's $92 per family. We'd be better off to give Roxanne a $65 credit for her family on a tax bill and let everybody do it individually.
Guess what? Then you got, here's my great thing is I feel like an idiot standing here because you're throwing me something that, like I said, our business development manager bases all this on formulas. Mm. And, you know, I didn't sit down. I don't know the households.
I just pulled up the U.S. Census data.
Okay.
And I knew that our board members had signed up individually.
Okay.
And they had told me the price.
Okay.
And I was just doing the math here. It sort of surprised me too. But
well, then you know what? If you guys will, because here's the other thing too. Again, I'm absolutely willing to go back if you guys will let me, you know, continue this thing. This is what I want, is it's more the collectiveness of it than anything, is to be able to get out to people. So I'm not sure I can answer that question for you, and I apologize. But, you know, if you're willing to entertain, all I have to do is go back and say, okay, this is what they've said on the census part of it, and,
You can go on the census data and look at the number of households in the county.
right. No, I totally understand. And I will tell you, if you can't tell, I'm a talker. Math is one I have to really work at. So I didn't go, I'm gonna tell you, y'all find about me. Now, I'm not gonna try to get anything over or say, oh, this is where it comes from, because I have no idea. Like I said, we had a Jason and our business development manager had done that. And for me, it's just a matter of, I'm passionate. So if you guys will entertain the idea of allowing me to see what I can do about that question.
Yeah. Now, there may be a factor in there that we have 3 times our population that comes through on the interstate every day, which is, I'm not counting.
Right.
I'm not sure that I'm, as a taxpayer, local taxpayer, that I want to cover that.
Well,
up.
absolutely. Well, and if you'll.
Well, they're not
again-
covered anyway, are they?
No, they're not in the policy anyway.
No, that's just our residents. But again, because what I'd love to do is you can talk to Will Winters, our business development manager, because I honestly cannot answer that question. They do all this analysis and how many Medicaid, how many uninsured households. There's some massive formula that goes into the prices that we present to counties for these municipal site plans. And I just get to be the idiot who stands up here and says, I'm sorry, I'm just not really sure of what that number is, Mr. All. I apologize. So-
Well, I can give you a partial reason why it's more, because if an individual takes it out, they're covered anywhere in the United States, right?
Right.
But if we take it out, they're only covered in Wythe County. So that would be a part of the reason it's a difference.
Yeah. Just a question.
Yeah, hey, I'd ask that. That's why you guys are up there.
We'll invite you to come back again.
When you got the
and
right
bring some-
answer.
Bring them with you and they can
When
explain.
I got Will Winters and he can explain the situation, well, you know what, guys, that's all I ask is just, you know, like I said, I'm here as the person who has a vested interest with my friends and family in this community. And, the truth is that if they, and this is what's funny, is I worked in pharma so long, and I may get myself in trouble saying this out loud, but I'll just shut up and sit down then. But anyway, thank you all for your time.
One other question, and I don't know, I just want to make sure that this is under the second bullet item under covered individuals and transports. It says that the person will be billed at the Medicare allowable
Allowable
rate.
rate.
Is that Medicare or Medicaid?
Medicare.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a kind of a standard for that type
Okay,
of
I
thing,
thought-
because it's way lower.
Right, well, most for EMS, and I think it's usually billed like at the Medicaid rate, isn't it?
Kim would know that answer.
It's usually Medicare, I think,
Okay.
that I do know. But thank you all so much, I appreciate you letting me take your time.
Joe has a question.
I've got a question for
Okay.
Kim that would help us.
Okay.
Could you come back up here? You're the authority in the room on this subject.
Yes, she is.
Do y'all use the same standard report form for insurance? Like when you pick up a patient, there's paperwork involved,
Right.
whether you're at lead mines or whether you're flying. Is that a standard form that everybody uses, or has everybody got a different form?
It is, we're more trained to bill emergently, because if your insurance sees that, you know, the billing is the same, but our charting is different.
The initial report, what do you call that?
We do a golden hour chart. It's
Okay,
through
what's the
Golden
rescue
Hour.
squad do?
The rescue squad does Tough Books, which is a rescue more based towards EMS that updates to the whole state.
Okay.
Ours
what-
is more individual towards insurance. And we include in our bill, or in our charting, we have to go in there and put an ambulance service pick this up? Say we pick up from lead mines. We go in our chart and we picked up from lead mines, we put in the intercept location. That way lead mines can still bill. you
Right,
know.
right.
And we even have, which we're going to start working on through this company, the rescue squads will benefit from calling us. we'll reimburse them so much for calling a helicopter. That doesn't sound right.
No, that don't
And
sound
I'm not
good.
Let me
really
say
good
this,
with
'cause
words.
that's what I said, is that's what I was getting ready to go back on, a kickback, where you have to be careful of saying, we're going to tit for tat. But what
Yeah,
she's trying,
it's-
what happens
it's-
is there is a cost associated when they use their equipment and bandages and all that stuff to bring them to the helicopter. So then what we can then do, because they can't bill once they hand them off to us, but then we can reimburse them for what has been used.
Because the
That's-
rescue squad can just charge a pickup fee. So they
Yes.
can't bill for starting IVs and
Bear
all that,
with me
so-
a minute here. I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
And let's don't get sidetracked. When you do a call report, the
Right.
first thing you're going to do is find out, is it Medicare or Medicaid covering it?
Nope,
The paperwork you fill out, it don't go on that report?
no.
Well, how do you ever find it out? How do you handle your billing?
When we take them to, say, Roanoke or Baptist.
No, I'm not talking about wings, I'm talking about rescue.
Rescue, we get we get a face sheet from the hospital, and it's submitted with that. We could care less whether they have insurance or not, but it is submitted to the billing company for lead mines. It's
But
submitted.
how does that happen from the person that answers the call? How does it get into the system?
We take them to, say, Wythe County. Wythe County gives us a face sheet with the patient's name, address, billing information, and that is submitted with our call report.
All right, now, right on that,
Mhm.
it'll tell you whether it's a Medicare or Medicaid case.
Sometimes it will, because sometimes you take them to Wythe County and it's an emergent situation, they're unresponsive. Wythe County don't have the insurance information on them. So then it goes to the billing company, and I guess they get it however they get it.
All right, my primary question here is also insured, or the co-insurance, or is there a place on that form that shows that company and what that coverage
It
is?
should be on the face sheet that they get from the
How
hospital.
do you get a blank face sheet?
You'll get a face sheet sometimes with their name and address, and that's it. Sometimes you'll get a ex-Texas fellow, because they put them in that way because they don't know. Because if you're unresponsive and I take you to the hospital and I don't know you and they don't know you,
Well, but I don't want to talk about those perimeter cases. You come to my house to pick up somebody.
Mhm.
Y'all don't fill out anything. It just goes to the hospital as a body, and
we
you don't know.
have to put your name and address in. We do not have to put your insurance in. We have to have a name, address, usually a social security, date of birth. Social's optional, date of birth's pretty relevant, but we do not have to
Okay.
have that information.
That's been a lot of information, thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Have you got these out,
I
posted
am-
around Wythe County? or-
I am working on that. I'm working as hard as I can work to get out there, and that's the thing too, is like doing the Kiwanis, the Rotary, because it's trying to actually, right now, I'm working, before I came with you guys, I've set something up, with the Wythe County School Board. I'm just trying to get to the bigger, volume is the thing that helps, get the word out, because it's a small town, and
They're
when
at
one
King's
person.
Produce and over here in the sheriff's office, because Mr. King was flown. And then it became a very passionate thing with him after because that not only covers him, let's say his grandson just moved in with him, it covers his grandson. If his friend from college moves in with him, it covers his friend from college. They don't have to be kin to you. So he became very passionate, so he has them up in his produce store.
They're out. I'm just putting them in,
Wherever we can put them.
wherever
Well,
we can get them.
One thing that I just thought about, we're getting ready to have the Wythe County Rural Treat Fair.
I'll be there on Saturday.
I was gonna say if there was some kind of a booth or something that
I'll
you
be
can
there.
set up, that
I'm
would.
already gonna be set up. I'll be set up Friday at the Wythe County Yard Sale on Main Street, so,
Sounds good.
yep.
I wished I'd have thought about it this weekend and took some to the Glade Mountain Saddle Club things, because, we could have laid them out up there.
And guys, it's honestly, I'm not out here as a salesperson, and that's why I want you to know, this whole money thing, I don't care. I'm not here as a salesperson. I'm here as a patient advocate, and I'm here because I truly care about the people in this county, and I just think, I've been in healthcare, some form of it, for 20 years. There's a lot of gaps. And this is a big gap that we could, that's what I said, is in a blanket. And if y'all will just keep working with me, that's all I ask, is just be open and stay open to, you know, some negotiation here. So, thank you.
Thank y'all. Okay, we'll move right along in the agenda. I have the approval of the July the 8th minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion, seconds. Any corrections or changes need to be made to the minutes? Or any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Mr.
Opposed?
Chairman, I'll abstain, I was absent.
Okay. Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, we have the payment of invoices.
I make a motion, we pay the bills.
I'll second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any invoice that any board member would like to discuss? Hearing none, I'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Aye.
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 The chair votes aye. Motion passes 6 with 1 absent. Next item on the agenda is old business. Mr. Dalton, is there anything under old business we need to discuss?
Streets, unless you're gonna cover our meeting with the town of Wythe and Rural Retreat last week.
Go ahead. I'll let you give an update on the meeting.
At our joint meeting, Tuesday, committee meeting set aside to discuss the joint IDA and the resolution that the county had presented. The outcome of that meeting was that, except for the number of visits that are required, everybody felt that that resolution could either be adopted individually by each locality or, and then confirming at the September meeting of the joint governing bodies. But as they went through it, the only portion that they really had a problem was where it said 12 to 15 visits a month. And the other thing that came out of that meeting was that managers would attend the JIDA meeting this Thursday and can reaffirm the budget that, operating procedures that we put forth in that resolution, that they were to spend down their reserves as part of their funding for this year to have 2 months of operating money, which means that we would, instead of 50,000, we're going to have to come up with around 67,000. I think that's a fair summary of what we did.
And suggested that they did hire assistants. That either talk to Kimber and see if she would come back or hire somebody new. Because we felt that if they didn't do that, we were kind of putting David in a hard place to try to do everything. So I think it's, and I'm gonna try to make it to the joint meeting. It's Thursday too.
Another item of old business, at the chairman's request, Mr. Willis and I attended the public hearing on the airport and the pending condemnation suit. Steve, was there 25, 30 people there? Our letter from Mr. Dalton got read into the minutes, and I think there was probably 10 speakers in total, but they immediately voted to proceed with the condemnation of the property involved.
May I ask a question? How many people spoke in favor? Anybody?
The people that were paid to.
Very few.
Okay.
Well, I want to thank y'all for going to the meeting and participating in that. Does anybody have anything else under old business? Hearing none, we'll go into reports. Mr. Sam, Treasury report, please.
Sorry, laid something down on y'all's conditions there for, we'll go over in a minute. On our consolidated account report, we're at $47,216,370 at the end of the month. Our general fund balance as of July the 1st was $25,744,000. And in the revenue statement that you have in your board packet is as of July the 1st, which has the year-end figures from last fiscal year for our tax collections. We collected 18 on our local taxes that we send out here locally. We collected $18,290,184. We exceeded our budget by $523,000. We still have delinquencies, but that's why we do that 5%. You know, we only bill about 95% of what we project in our revenue budget. Some of them our delinquent taxes have come in this year. The second line item down there is $375,000. That's basically because of the collections through John Wythe's people, and I got his quarterly report on that sheet I laid up there for y'all to look at. And the rest of our collections are fairly good. Our sales tax exceeded its budget by $246,000. Our lodging and meals tax, about 3/4 of the way down. They're down a little bit, but they're a month behind, so they should hopefully meet their budgets when we get the information in this month. And that's about all. Our total interest for the year was $1,169,748. That was at the 2.5% mark, and we know that's went down to 1.65%. So it's going to be down next year. Our interest collections are going to be down. But still, that's the best rate anybody's got on money. So we're fortunate to have that, I think, really. And the sheet I laid out, it's our delinquent year-end collection delinquency report. It shows the delinquencies as of June the 30th for 2013 tax year. Real estate, $409,838, and personal property is $227,000. And then down the next line is 2012, what it was June 30th of last year, what it is today, and how much we collected over on the right-hand side of $147,681 on real estate and $64,654 on personal property, and then the same for 2011. The next, on the second page, is a quarterly report from tax. John Wythe, the outfit that is doing our sale for us, and that's from July to July for the fiscal year. To date, we've collected $249,799. It's up in that bar across the middle. The total paid, but that does include their fees and stuff that they've collected. In the very last page, I blew it up so y'all could read it. I could barely read it. I had to blow it up twice. That's why it's a little fuzzy. He explains what his the items, they're like total paid and things like that. He explains what they are on there. So hopefully, we're still waiting to have a sale. They've got about 15 properties now. I've gotten the paperwork that they turned into the clerk's office, so hopefully we'll get around to having a sale in this lifetime, I guess. I don't know. But there's a list there in there, the second and third page is a list of people that right now we're going to have a sale on. The bottom of there, Virginia City up on top of the mountain, they had an auction sale last month, I think. They sold it at auction, so took that off, but they still owe us the tax and and John Rife their fees, and they're aware of that. Andrews Realty's aware of it. I gave them a copy of all that stuff. So they know that they owe it, and they'll pay that up with us. And that's about all I have this morning. Anybody got any questions?
Just a simple one, it's not about any taxes or anything, but on rental of general property, last year it was 183,000, this year it was zero. Well, I don't know what that is.
I'm not exactly sure what it is either. It's rental property the county's had in the past. Or was that like the health department or something, Slell, last year?
Well, we went over social services and health department, they're paying us rent now.
Okay.
It moved somewhere, Dr. Al.
Okay, well, I didn't know what change we had. That was, yeah, well, that's fine. I appreciate it.
It shuffles around.
Yeah.
Numbers are still trying to find a home, I think, with all the shuffling we're doing, so. All right, somebody else have a question?
Sam, on the delinquent taxes, I know we have a list and we're getting printed in the paper. When you do that list, I know that what the owe is for the current past year, 2013.
That's the current year tax, yeah, that's correct.
Is there any way to go back and how much they owe total in back taxes?
We'd have to do all that by hand, not on our current computer system.
Okay.
The Keystone system, it will have a total of everything in people's name, because they got their PIN number. In fact, we'll probably change the tax tickets around to where it prints out the delinquent tax on the current tax ticket. But our system's old and it didn't have that capability when we built it, and we've just never put it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But
Go
But
ahead.
the other thing about it, each year we take a list and we go into our current taxes, and in the notes, we put a note on there, owes back taxes. And we make people pay the oldest tax first by law. That's, and we've still stirring some people on this DMV stop. It's been an experience, I'm gonna tell you. We've taken several cussings over this. And one person, we called him, and he's owed taxes since 2003. I ain't got a dime. I told him I didn't know he really existed. I didn't think he existed. And I said, "You've never been in our office." And he came in, he wanted to pay $50 a month. I said, "No, sir." I said, you owe us a substantial down payment to work a payment plan. I said, "And you are not gonna pay it anyway." So
And he
I
had-
said, "Just
And he
no."
hadn't paid taxes since when?
2003. I've got a judgment every year against him. Every time we send the sheriff's office out there, they don't have anything we can distress. They hide their cars. I don't know what they do. It's a mess. But that DMV stop did catch that guy, right off the bat, and just tickled me to death.
That's one good thing.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions for Sam?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I know Faye's not on the agenda, but she has something that she'd like to bring before the board.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We finally heard back from DMV on the titled vehicles. There's 25,200 vehicles right now, but David just came in a few minutes ago and told me he was looking at them, and several of them are in other counties that's still listed with counties DMV, but they're Bland, Carroll, Pulaski, so he's going to take some of those out, so I don't know how many more of those. But the bad news is, well, the good news is this $3,100 is what DMV's charged us. David went back and negotiated with them. They cut it down to $1,550. DMV, they presented it to us as a yearly download, and that's what it's gonna be, but they won't charge us any more after the $1,550. So I'll need to send a requisition to the budget committee to add $1,550 to my budget to be able to pay this bill. Okay?
I've got a question.
Okay.
You say David is purging the list of 25,000.
There's 25,200 that show, and the
Why
ones.
couldn't you do us a favor and just send them all a tax bill and let them come to see you?
And then just exonerate those
No,
then?
exonerate the ones you have to,
That
collect
we
from
have
all
to-
you
Yeah,
can.
I mean, the ones that are in other counties,
Yeah, because that could have been a temporary thing and they back in the county.
yeah.
Giving them a free pass because of a list doesn't seem like to me we're aggressively trying to collect the taxes that are due.
But when they've got an address of, Blaine County or something in Pulaski or Carroll, it's, it's costing more for this, to send out those bills and
We
everything.
still get tax bills from Pulaski County. We've been in Wythe County for 15 years. We get tax bills on vehicles that have been in Canada for 20 years. They never go away in some counties. So help us, please.
Okay, I'll do whatever I can on it, but any other questions?
Thank you, Faye.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is Fire and Rescue Committee. I know
There weren't any real decisions made yesterday, except that we did meet with Chesterfield, because our, the insurance rate for volunteers, it just, skyrocketed. And so, they are reevaluating that, and we're also looking at taking some steps that will, make it less expensive, the possibility of putting, volunteers on the individual rescue squad list rather than a county list. Right now, though, there hadn't been any decision. We're still gathering information. And I don't know, was there anything else significant that happened?
I think Mr. Dalton has.
We talked about extrication.
Oh.
After the meeting, I went over and talked to Wythe County. I guess the discussion over time with Wythe County extrication, the Board of Supervisors, after talking to them in the town, the Board of Supervisors directed extrication only be done for fire department. Wythe County, which we own the truck, still has a truck that says Wythe County, a rescue squad. What they'd like to do, what I talked to them about, is that we would turn that truck over to the town of Wythe. It would remain in Wythe County's bay where they can pick it up, but then that would allow all this discussion that's going on between the rescue squad and the town, fire department, who's going in whose truck would be resolved. We would declare it surplus, turn over the truck to the town of Wythe, will stay in the bay over there. The town of Wythe will then be responsible for the insurance, have the trained people, and also filling the truck up with gas, which is Wythe County Rescue felt that was not in their best interest. They filled it up with gas. The town of Wythe people took it under directions from the board and then came and brought it back. So I went to ask the board, I declare that truck surplus and we transfer that to the town of Wythe.
Okay, you've heard the recommendation of the, to turn the truck over to, the crash truck over to Wytheville Fire Department. I have a motion.
I'll make that as a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
May I ask one question? The town of Wytheville is agreeable?
I talked to Wayne Sutherland, he was gonna talk to the Albert Newberry, who's Director of Public Safety, but he thought that was fine.
Okay.
The rescue squad, and I understand the position, they shouldn't be filling up for another governmental unit.
Along that line, we ought to also notify the insurance company in writing, because that was part of that formula that helped jack that price up, was how many vehicles are involved.
Yes.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Hausman?
Aye.
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 The chair votes aye. Motion passes 6 with 1 absent.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I had something that didn't come out of the committee, but I did have a call from Kurt Crawford. He says the county hadn't paid them all their bills. You take,
Corey, I looked at the information and I did not get a chance to talk to Mr. Dalton about that.
okay, just somebody talk to him, straighten him out.
Anything else
Thank you.
on fire and rescue? Hearing none, we'll move right along to the water committee report.
All right, the Water Committee met on July 15th, 2014, and recommends the following actions. First is to adjust Wayne Beasley's water bill as shown on the next page, including removal of the January and February late charges, and the county attorney to prepare an agreement for a 6-year payment plan for the remaining bill owed. The amount owed after adjustments is $2,094.66.
Okay, you've heard the recommendation, first recommendation from the water committee. Does it need a second? Do you have any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman, for correction, that's a 6-month, not a 6-year.
Oh, that was what my
Oh.
question was, why did it
Did I
take
say 6
months?
years?
Yeah,
Sorry.
6 months.
That sounded like a Doug King proposal to me.
Sorry, I got hit on the head Sunday, so.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Motion passes. Next item.
All right, let's try this one then. To establish a policy to reduce initial 1,000-gallon flat water rate from $18 to $14.50, and to reduce flat sewer rate from $22 to $17.60 for customers who apply and meet low-income standards. This is approximately a 20% reduction in both rates.
Okay, it doesn't need a second. Any discussion?
How many customers you think that will qualify?
We know what Bay does, age credits, which is sort of tied to age credits. You're not gonna get a huge amount. How many?
About 400 age credits.
And that's
Okay.
all taxpayers, so you're not gonna get a lot.
That are water customers?
And so far, we've only had one application in.
They wouldn't be because part of those are towns.
Yeah. So she's also, so out of, how many parcel on, there's 14,000 some owners. She's got 400, so whatever that percentage, and then subtract the 2 towns, that was the majority of the populations. You're not gonna get a huge amount of people. Stephen, do we have a report of how many people took a reduced connection fee application? Because we already had it.
I don't have the numbers, we should have that information.
And it's not been a huge amount of people.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The chair votes aye. Motion passes. Next item.
And the last one is to provide an incentive to customers who live within the 350-foot mandatory connection area with water pressure of less than 20 pounds at their house. Reimbursement for actual expenses of up to $350 for the necessary upgrades to boost their water pressure.
Come from a committee, it doesn't need a second. Any discussion? How many people do we have in the county that has water pressure below that? That's on the water system.
Currently, we only know of 2. We have the potential of 10 or 12 out towards speed with the new system.
Water.
So it's not a huge number on that. But what we're envisioning is instead of the county coming in and building pump stations, a new tank or something, or a higher tank to give them pressure, that would give them credit reimbursement towards this, and they can put their own hydropneumatic tank inside their house to take care of that problem.
Is that mostly on Pump Hollow Road? That's, what is the,
One's over at Lead Mines Road, I believe it is. We did some calculations on his house. At the meter, it meets all health department regulations. It's 27 PSI. But when it gets to his house, it's down 14 or 16 PSI. Which means on the second floor of his house, he takes a washer out, brings it up. The other place is going towards Speed. We've got a group of homes right next to the water tank there that have this 20-pound marginal pressure at the meter, but their house is up on the bank above, and some of those people would like water, but without building a $100,000 pump station, we can't provide them water. So the most economical way is to build it is allow them to use a hydropneumatic tank and a little pump inside the house and build that pressure. That was our thoughts.
And most of these people have a well now, so they probably have something in place, and this would allow them, funds to revamp that system, whatever they need to increase the pressure. So it's a usable pressure.
any other?
Well, I need to ask you, clarify that. Are we going to improve their water pressure from the public supply or from an existing well?
From the public supply, they would have to
Okay.
totally disconnect from the well.
All right. Renovation is the word that threw me there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Any other discussion? The heck?
It's going to blow up.
Hey, I'll vote first. He's
Vote.
busy.
Hearing none, do a roll call vote. Dr. Hausman?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And the chair votes aye. Motion passes. Anything else from the Water Committee?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Moving right along, we'll go into the County Administrator's report. Mr. Dalton?
Mr. Chairman, I have one item, it's the Fort Chisholm EMS building. We obtained pricing, grading around the back of the building, the side of the building, as well, and also put all the roof drains in pipe back to the back of the building, and also include lighting in the corners of the building that they've requested. The cost of that was $3,034. Request that we amend and appropriate for Chisholm EMS.
I will make that as a motion, Mr. Chairman.
I have a second.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Hausman?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask, Mr. Dalton, did you get the email I sent with the synopsis of those questions?
I have not.
Okay.
Were you able to arrange a meeting with the health department yesterday?
Thursday at 9 a.m. 50% success. If I was playing baseball, that would be.
That'd be 500, wouldn't it?
Okay, any other discussion? Mr. Dalton, you have anything else?
Yes.
County Attorney's report.
I don't have anything to report at this time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll move along to the Board of Supervisors, and we'll go with the Blackfoot District first.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, one of the things that came out of our joint meeting the other night was we had one citizen that talked about water on the western end of the county, from Retreat out towards Smith County, and I talked with Mr. Dalton about it, and also Mayor Wythe, and so he and I kind of had an impromptu elected officials meeting in Dickinson Drugstore in Retreat. We talked about the possibility of the water committee meeting with a committee from the town to discuss options and things like that to bring back to the county administrator and the town manager. I was reading. I got the minutes from the town of Retreat meeting last time, and I see that Mayor Wythe has appointed council member Hall, Yance, Fires, and Lloyd as members of what they're going to call a public utilities committee. I'd spoken with Mr. McRoberts and Mr. Horney at the water committee meeting, and asked if they would be willing to meet with with this committee if we can get it set up just to talk about possibilities, and they were. So what I'd like to ask is if it's okay for chair's permission to go ahead and talk to Mayor Litz and see if we can get a time set up that their public utilities committee and our water committee can meet just to start fleshing out some ideas.
Okay, does anybody on board have any questions or comments? We already have a water committee, so we don't need to appoint a water committee.
Right.
So I think it's a good thing to join with them and discuss future ventures or whatever that.
Well, if that's okay, if it's okay with Mr. Horney as chairman,
That'll work.
I'll talk to Mayor Witz and see if we can get that set up.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
Okay, West Whipple, or West Whipple ain't here. Okay, East Whipple.
Nothing to report at this time, sir.
Okay, Fort Chiswell.
Yes, there's a couple of things that we're moving forward with VDOT on getting right away cleared up on Archer Road. One is out being passed around the country, and then that'll be done. It'll be back in VDOT's hands. And also on a water matter, I've been approached by the folks up 619, I think it is. No, it's not 619. One goes up through the Rock Quarry and up Atkins Mill Road, and then on up to the development on the mountain on Whippoorwill. And Joe Price is circulating a list of people that are interested, so that's the first step, I understand, to see if it's a viable project.
Anything else?
No, I'm gonna bring the other thing up, new business.
Okay. Coy?
I have a couple of things there. Downford Road, it was supposed to start on July 1st, but my understanding is they've changed the drain pipes on there from metal to plastic, and so they've had to reorder the plastic pipes, and it'll be a little while before they get started on it. Also, I had a call from Mr. Larry Scott. I don't know if there's anything we can do about Mr. Beasley's yard sale or whatever he's having down there. Did you?
I called VDOT on the subject. VDOT made Mr. Beasley a visit to get all the stuff off the right of way. Also, we visit the site, all of this stuff is, well, part, after VDOT visit, he's moved what was on right away, and signs and everything off, but I'm not sure that it's litter, but I'm not sure what it is. But he has an assortment of things from chairs to chickens, ducks, to signs to, I didn't dare uncover the tarp. The tarp had stuff underneath the old gas station. But he had, I understand he has moved everything out right away. Mr. Robinson, I don't know, private property, I should have a property maintenance ordinance, what we can do.
Yeah, you're right.
Did I hear Mr. McRoberts endorse such a move?
No. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Are you positive, Coy? That's another thing that we'll probably be discussing at a later time this year. Speedville District, Mr. Horny.
I don't have any concerns or anything. I want to thank Mr. Dalton. I called him the other day with a concern, and he put me in touch with the right people, and the way I understand it, we got everything taken care of.
One more, 666, 67, 66.
I really don't have anything to bring in front of the board, but I would like to inform the board that the Pioneer Realty Club donated $1,000 to the library for their van to take books out to the shut-in and elderly and who else ever they deliver books to. I think there's around $6,000 short, and the Pioneer Realty Club did donate them $1,000, and there's a real good article in the paper. Yeah. And I'd like to commend Joe on, I was trying to find it here, some bumper stickers that says "Trash Litters, Please Do Not Litter," from the Max Meadows Realty Club, that he will be passing out, and hopefully he will have some more on that here in a little bit. Would you like to? Would you like to speak a little more on your stickers, Joe?
Yes. I'd ask the board to pass a resolution that's not going to cost anything, endorsing a litter campaign, an anti-litter campaign. We seem to be doing well with litter. We need an anti-litter campaign. The sheriff is getting these put on the sheriff's cars. The black ones are ones that can't carry a logo on them because they're public or maybe don't want a logo. A civic club can sponsor these things, and any civic club can get involved, because we really need it to be county and regionally to make an impact on our tonnage going down. Mr. Houseman come up with a good idea yesterday, and you're not going to hear that very often, so you might write that down. He says, let's think about putting these out to the schools, that you could have a Sheppy logo here, or a Max Meadows, or a Fort Chiswell Pioneers, and get a civic club to sponsor each of those schools, and then be able to distribute these and the little message with it through the schools. Sheriff, I'm going to help you, and I'm not much of an investigator, but I've done better than y'all have. Martinsville has got the program we need for teaching schools.
Steve Draper is the sheriff. It's a city program. It's a city program.
Yeah, it went through the schools, though.
In 2012, I need to call Steve Draper because I a sticker. They want $5, so I forget about that. But I do have a plan to call Steve Baker and see this because that was in 2012.
It was on Channel 7 News this morning, on the early news. Martinsville City Schools published a book, and it's mandatory third grade reading in Martinsville City School. And it's a book with pictures about, it's a catchy term, and I didn't write it down, so it's about the story of a piece of trash or a piece of litter. And from what the reporter had, it's a published book that they're using, and it's required in third grade. So with some school connections, I'll be glad to follow up on that and let you know. Hopefully they didn't copyright it, or hopefully they got a good heart and they'd let us use it.
It's a published work. It's been copyrighted.
Well, that's open for legal discussion, and lawyers make money on it. I've always been told by a good legal mind in Richmond that as long as you're using something for educational purposes, all they can do is tell you to quit using it. He says for educational purposes, you go ahead and use stuff that is copyrighted until they tell you to quit, and then you better quit. So I did know the superintendent down there, but they moved so fast, I don't know whether he's still there or not. But it's, I think if we can get it already done, it just moves us till this could be a total litter program all happening in 1 year and not take forever to get it done. It works very well with the trash pickup because all the compliments that we've gotten for cleaning the roads up, now we need to reduce the amount that's being redistributed by the population. The point I want to get out here is that this is not a closed thing. Any civic club can get involved, and even if the schools go forward with it, maybe we can help get some civic clubs to sponsor separate schools, or maybe PTOs. I do need to tell you that this is a local product. Now, I had the same experience you did. The first ones that I priced of these was locally at $3 each, and I didn't talk to them very long. Then I called the next one, and they were $2 each, and these were printed by Dustin Meredith in Rural Retreat for less than $1. So it does pay to shop around, and that's spending the money locally. I know what you pay for anything.
Okay, do you have anything else, Joe?
That's it, thank you.
I know you wasn't on the,
Oh, I asked for a resolution. Do we need a motion to get a resolution?
yes.
Just state exactly what we want in the resolution. I mean, I know we'll have to rewrite it, but
Just a resolution supporting a campaign to rid the county of trash and litter.
I will make that motion.
Have a second.
Second.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Hausman?
Aye.
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 The chair votes aye. Motion passes for the resolution. I know you wasn't on the agenda, Sheriff. Do you have something you'd like to share with us this morning?
Just a couple of things. As y'all are aware, hopefully Saturday, well, this weekend's the 3-day 70-mile yard sale. I will have extra people out on 21 making sure that we don't have the road blocked. Hopefully that won't be an issue. To be perfectly frank with you, we have no idea what to expect. It could be a normal Saturday morning yard sale, or from what I've read about some of these other things, it turns into like the Hillsville flea market. So we're just gonna have to play it by ear. The other thing, of course, Saturday, we also have Heritage Day starting in Rural Retreat. So it's gonna be a busy weekend for the sheriff's office. On the trash decals, despite Mr. Hale's beliefs, I have been looking at this quite deeply. Most of them appear to be offshoots of Keep America Beautiful, which is a copyrighted group, and local, or pretty much keep this locality, whatever it may be, beautiful. And since everybody has copyrighted all their efforts, you kind of have to start reinventing your own wheel. Your suggestion about the bumper stickers being localized, that's a good idea. I don't see where you can get any problems with that. I've got to call the sheriff of Orange County today, so it won't be that great a problem for me to call the sheriff of Martinsville and see if this is an offshoot of what he was starting in 2012.
Yeah, Coy just pulled it up on, he's more computer literate than I am.
Yeah, it's on the website, Martinsville City Public School.
But it's the sheriff's office involved, because it may be just through the school board.
Yeah, they're two different programs. The sheriff's doing a litter program. This is an educational program through the school, so if you'll pull that up and read it, maybe you and the sheriff can collaborate and he can tell you who to talk to.
I'll find out if he's involved. If it's a straight school board movement, I know he won't be involved. But, and like I said, I did not see any articles about any of his campaigns past 2012, as far as the sheriff was involved.
You think you got it all cleaned up and quit?
I don't think he just quit. We have a lot of stuff going on, much more than city sheriffs do.
Well, since Tim lured you up here, let me ask you a question. This is an afterthought or a thought. If Citizens Group or a civic organization posted a reward or a recognition of the deputy or law enforcement officer that writes the most tickets, or some kind of Deputy of the Year award or Law Enforcement of the Year award.
Recognition they can accept. Monetary awards they cannot accept by our policy.
Is that a state law or a
No,
local?
it's my policy, which means it's greater than state law.
Only in this room, okay. Okay.
No, down the hill there.
So, recognition, because you and I don't agree on this, and we have a right to agree, not agree. I think if they get hauled into court, whether the judge finds them or not,
Who's been finding the ones guilty lately?
that's a penalty. They have to go there and take the wrath or judgment from the judge. And if we believe in the court system, you're supposed to be impressed when you get drug into court and not want to go there again. Seems like some people go there for regularly.
Entertainment value.
Frequent flyers, whatever you call it.
Mr. Reeves can address that.
But this is part of a whole approach, I think, that if your guys work with the public to really make an impact, if people can see the difference, and if we get an education program going with the young folks, maybe, just maybe, we can win this one, or at least make a difference.
I think the best efforts would be through the school, education side. Even God gave up on the children of Israel and made Moses walk them around for 40 years until their attitudes would improve. And I don't claim to have that power. But as far as them writing tickets for littering, yes, they are doing it. And there has been several convictions lately on that. But like all misdemeanors, deputy has to see it occur,
Has to see it happen.
has to see it happen. So the average marked unit, if it's behind somebody, nothing comes out of that vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Several of the guys have stopped people hauling trash where a bag blew out. They've stopped them and made them go back and pick the trash up. But in federal court, if one of the rangers goes to a campsite and there's trash left behind, federal judges allow the evidence collected inside that bag as prima facie evidence that that person, like male, is the person responsible for littering.
Maybe that's something we need to bring up in front of the General Assembly to see if we can't get something passed.
Wouldn't be a bad idea, because I don't see anybody collecting my trash to take camping with them. I wish they would, but, and I don't see anybody getting the stuff out of green boxes with my address on it. So,
One of the things, if your patrol guys, Little Woodstock is running full speed up in the head of Miller's Creek. If they could stop by and show the flag a little bit.
they show the flag in that area because it is, it's on a regular patrol, plus the National Forest Patrols.
Well, see, this is east of the National Forest Patrol. Is it? if
You're
you-
talking about
On out
further
there.
down toward Gatewood Reservoir.
Yeah, if you go on down 714 or 712 Mills Creek Road, this is that questionable piece of property on the right that's owned by thousands of heirs. And some of the heirs have moved in and took possession. They've got tents, they've got old campers. They've never hauled any trash off. It's going in Peak Creek. And there seems to be a lot of commerce going on out there because they have a lot of traffic in and out, about a 5-minute visit, and then they're coming back.
That's generally where we spend our kind of efforts, is in that kind of activity throughout the county.
Well, that intersection, if you could get the cameras out there, I think you'd get some good intel.
That I can't speculate
Anybody have any other questions for the sheriff? Thank you, Sheriff.
on. Any news on the van?
Oh, Mr. Dalton, we have a timeline on the van repairs.
We gave you some directions to get it fixed. I did not have a report on it, so I go back to 5 months.
But it is being fixed, and if
Okay,
not,
but you were talking about getting another van.
yeah, District 3's gonna send us a letter. I don't know how, you know, they're having a van coming available here shortly, so we'll look and see how much they're wanting for one.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Thank you.
On that thing, I guess I've heard rumors what's wrong with it, the lights, stopping and going. If JB could give you something in writing, exactly all the issues with it, so we.
It takes several pages.
One thing we can read, sometimes it takes us several days.
I'll have him write up a report on all of the issues.
And so we get them all addressed, and when we're spending money, it's,
I think what we have going on out there, the ceiling is when they pull the wires through the skin. So it bounces around and hits the metal, and makes a connection. Off it goes. But I'll have him do it. I believe he's working today.
Thank you, Sheriff.
yeah, he's anxious to be back on the road.
Yes, indeed.
He doesn't like the courthouse.
No, he doesn't. Okay, moving right along, we'll go into new business. The first item in the new business is the consent calendar. Have a motion that we approve the consent calendar for July.
Chairman, I'll make it.
Have a second.
Second.
Any item on the consent calendar any board member would like to discuss? Hearing none, I'll do a roll call vote. Dr. Hausman?
Aye.
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 And chair votes aye. Motion passes 6 with 1 absent. Next item on the agenda is the delinquent real estate tax listing.
Mr. Crockett has put that together, presented to the board for approval to advertise them. To exactly which code section requires board approval to place that.
I would make a motion that we print that in the paper.
Have a second.
I second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And chair votes aye. Motion passes 6 with 1 absent. Next item on the agenda is the Victim Witness Program Grant. It's 119.
Victim Witness is a continuation grant. And that before you have, the money's already appropriated in the budget. Request the board accept and approve that grant.
Okay, we have a recommendation from the county administrator that we accept the grant. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll do a roll call vote. Dr. Hausman?
Aye.
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 And chair votes aye. Next item is resolution 20. Let me pull it up here. 20. Wythe County Resolution 2014-13, in appreciation of Howard Manley. Whereas the Wythe County Board of Supervisors appointed Howard Manley to the Wythe Community College Board on July the 11th, 2006, and whereas Howard Manley served 2 terms on the WCC Board from July the 1st, 2006 to June the 30th, 2014, and whereas the Wythe County Board of Supervisors wishes to express appreciation to Howard Manley for his time and service to the WCC Board, and now therefore be it resolved that the Wythe County Board of Supervisors assembled in regular session this 22nd day of July 2014 does hereby express its heartfelt appreciation to Howard Manley for his diligent service to the Wythe Community College Board, and be it further resolved that this resolution be entered into the official minutes of the Wythe County Board of Supervisors.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve that resolution.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, do a roll call vote. Dr. Hausman?
Aye.
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 And the chair votes aye. Okay, next item on the agenda is Resolution 2014-14, an appreciation of Edmund Pendleton. Whereas the Wythe County Board of Supervisors appointed Edmund Pendleton to the Wythe County Community College Board on July the 11th, 2006, and whereas Edmund Pendleton served 2 terms on the Wythe County Community College Board from July the 1st, 2006 to June the 30th, 2014, and whereas the Wythe County Board of Supervisors wishes to express appreciation to Edmund Pendleton for his time and service to the WCC Board, and now therefore be it resolved that the Wythe County Board of Supervisors assembled in regular session this 22nd day of July 2014 does hereby express its heartfelt appreciation to Edmund Pendleton for his diligent service to the Wythe County Community College Board, and be it further resolved that the resolution be entered into the official minutes of the Wythe County Board of Supervisors.
Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve that resolution.
I'll second that as well.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Horny?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. The chair votes aye. Resolution passes. Other business. Mr. Dalton, we have any other business to bring before the board? Does any board member have any other business to bring before the board? Hearing none, you also have the informational package in your packet. You can go over that, and I declare this meeting adjourned.